Have you ever had plans to do something and it was something big and you put a lot of time and effort into it, and then something happens that either forces or encourages you to go in a different direction? Well, I want to share what happened to me in 2008. Back in 2008, I had just finished my specialist degree and was in graduate school to complete my doctorate. Had about 2.5 years left to get that complete. And at that time, there was this little thing going on in the economy, and we refer to it as the recession of 2008. However, it went on for longer than just the year 2008. And a lot of you know that if you owned a home during that time. So I had decided maybe staying in the doctoral program is not the best use of my time and resources, because I'm a PE teacher and they just cut art and music programs from the state of Georgia's curriculum. So if you were an art or music teacher, you no longer had a job. So no one saw that coming. It happened fast and it was swift. But as a PE teacher, I knew if this recession got worse or even stayed the same, that most likely physical education might be the next program that got cut. So I backed out of the doctoral program. And since I was in that mode of learning and I was used to doing research, I was kind of bummed because I thought, well, I'm so used to studying now. I'm so used to reading and learning. What am I going to do? I had always been curious about real estate. So I did a little research. I didn't know any agents. I was new to the area. We'd only lived in Georgia like 3 years. And I started using Google and searching and figuring out how I was going to get this license. So I ended up finding an online course. I take the course, pass the test, take the state exam, pass the state exam, and then I join a firm and start trying to learn how to do the business during the worst time to be in that particular business. I was getting in when many people were getting out. So from the outside looking in, it's like people would probably say, what is he doing? Like, there's people leaving real estate and getting jobs right now. Why would he be going into that? Well, I'm glad I didn't think that much about it, because I may have backed out having those same thoughts. But I was curious about it and I was going to pursue it. So I did so. And throughout the recession, we saw a lot of things going on. Those of you that were, especially if you were an adult during that time and you had a family to support, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of serious things were going on. And because I continued teaching, they didn't cut PE, thankfully. They did not cut the PE program, so I kept teaching, I kept coaching, and I started selling real estate on the side. I'd only sell maybe 2 or 3 homes a year on average. If I had a real good year, I may sell 7. But it was very much a blessing to our family because I was able to pay everything off, and except our home. I did keep the mortgage. But, all of our cars, we had no consumer debt. So it was a blessing. I didn't see it coming. If I would have had my way, I would have stayed in school, spent another $30,000+ in tuition, and I would have been called Dr. Matheson, and I'd be making maybe a little over $100,000 a year right now. But I would be spending a lot of time still teaching, still coaching, doing all the things that I was doing. Well, I'm a numbers guy. I like to look at numbers and I like to track things. So one of the things that I was tracking at the time was how much the doctorate degree was going to cost me, how much my pay raise was going to be, and I would track when I would sell a house, how much money I made on a house. So after 5 homes, I did the numbers and I was like, okay, I could not sell another home, walk away from real estate, and I've already made more than my doctorate degree was going to pay me through the end of my career, which still wouldn't be over, by the way. And that was in 2009. I'm 52, I would still be teaching. Okay. So it was a good decision. And I give God all the credit because I wasn't the one that was wanting to do this thing. Like I said, I was not passionate about real estate. I'm saying all that to say this. There may be something that you may not be real passionate about, but you may be curious. And I'm not saying to quit your job, because I didn't do that. I kept teaching from 2009 to 2020. So it's good if you can start something. It may not be real estate. Yours may be something totally different. It may be in lending. It may be all kinds of different things. I'm not going to start because I could go on and on and on about all the different businesses that you could get into. And we live in a time that it's never been easier to build wealth and to build it quickly than it is right now with technology. So I hope that if there's anything in the back of your mind, especially if you're not happy with what you're doing, if you're happy in your job and you don't mind continuing to work and in a position under someone, then stick with it. God bless you. But those of you that may be questioning, that may be thinking, what if? I wonder what if. Well, don't let that what if be in that little dash on your tombstone one day where it says, you're born this year and then there's that little dash and then there's a year you pass away. Don't let what ifs fill that dash. Go ahead and take a chance. Look into something. But I encourage you, get some guidance. It don't have to be me. It could be someone though that's made some changes that would help you in walking you through the process. Like I said, I chose real estate. Real estate is, any business, they all work on the same principles. So if you know the principles for one business, it translates to another. I'm still blown away at how much my coaching experiences translated into the business world. So we're here at Halftime Adjustments. If we can ever help you, reach out to us, request a meeting. Be happy to talk to you, see if there's something that we can help you through the process of starting your own company, your own business. And it's not just about finances, folks. It's more about freedom. Freedom of time, freedom to do the things you want to do. I've heard people, for years, I would see these infomercials where they paint this pretty picture. And it was always some kind of program they were trying to sell. I'm not trying to sell no program. I'm just trying to help people get to where they want to be. So we love you. Thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time.